What's up, everybody? Isaac Payne here from Mom and Pop, and welcome to Small Business Conversations, where we chat to various small business owners that are doing big things in their community. Today, I have a great guest who hails all the way from Ottawa, Canada, and she makes handcrafted accessories using only the finest materials. We want to hear all about her great business and how it all got started. Today, we have the owner of Crown and Collar, Nav Chohan. Welcome, Nav.
Thank you, Isaac. Thank you so much for having me.
No, awesome, awesome. Thank you for coming on board. So, Crown and Collar, when did it all get started?
Okay, so Crown and Collar actually started off as Nav Collection in 2017. Yeah, we accidentally fell into the whole suit accessories game. So one day, my husband, he loves wearing suits, and one day his pajamas ripped, and he really liked the pattern, so he asked me to make a pocket square out of them. And people started asking questions. They were just wondering like where they could get one. We were like, nope, limited edition, just one time, only for him, because he threw out the pajamas after that.
Ah.
And then yeah, I kind of just flourished from there. We did some test markets, and people were obsessed with the patterns and designs we were using. And then 3 years later, last year, we decided to rebrand to Crown and Collar and expand our product line. We thought that Crown and Collar kind of encompassed our accessories for the future as well. So we decided to rebrand.
Okay. So, you've
Yeah.
always had experience kind of in the clothing industry. Like, how did you get started in this industry?
So I actually have a background in marketing and advertising.
Okay.
And I used to sew when I was younger. I would make like these random tops that sometimes wouldn't fit me, but I was like still learning. And then I actually went to the TFA a couple of years ago to learn a little bit more about fashion in the industry. I did some volunteering with Toronto Men's Fashion Week, Toronto Fashion Week, and started getting my feet wet with the industry. Started making like connections and things. And so I think I started learning more and more about it about 5 years ago. And then just became more and more into sewing, like this sewing machine,
Yeah.
and experimenting. And I think that's where it really resonated with me because I like working with my hands and making things. And I feel like using fabrics and learning about them and how they fall and drape and what you can do with them is really interesting. And so I decided to move into that kind of landscape. I'm still working in advertising marketing. This is like my side gig. So yeah, so that's how I do it now.
Okay. Awesome.
Mhm.
Now, is do you just work out of home, or do you have a storefront? How does Crown and Collar operate?
So we are out of my home. This is the basement. That's the window.
Okay.
And yeah, so I do it out of home. We have everything online. We technically don't do curbside pickup, but there has been like some requests here and there for people who are really close by. So I just accommodate, no problem. But yeah, we're primarily online. We have some retailers. One of our main retailers is Curl Warehouse. She's out in Calgary. And so she sells quite a bit of our products out there. So yes, we're more mainly online and getting our feet wet with more retailers across Canada.
Oh, that's awesome. So, yeah, you guys seem like you're on the right track. I mean, starting small is the way to go. So, yeah,
Yeah,
definitely, that's great.
yeah, for sure.
So you guys offer men's and women's accessories. What are the primary products that you guys have? What are your flagship products that you provide?
Yeah, so we did start off with suit accessories, and because of COVID and the fact that people stopped wearing suits all of a sudden because they were at home, we decided to start expanding into other products. So obviously, we started with the masks, like that's the next place you go when you are someone who sews. And then we started doing like these scrunchies that I have here. We have like these giant ones too. The head wraps that I have, I would say our flagship though right now is our satin line tubes. So these are made in Canada and we have all this satin lining in here. People are loving these. It's great for minimizing frizz and breakage, especially with people who have very thick hair and curly hair. So they love the satin anything. I feel like that right now is our flagship for the winter, and then our flagship in the summer is our scrunchies.
No, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And how did you guys, I guess you mentioned that you made a pocket for your husband, but was that always your passion to kind of be in the accessory business versus just making full on shirts, pants, and the whole garment?
You know what? It was actually the opposite. I was really into making garments. So I would make my own skirts, my own shirts, dresses, and I really liked doing that. And I was really into making big, flowy skirts and like the huge tulle skirts. That was my thing. Um, but we kind of ended up shifting into suit accessories. And I felt like there was something missing there where there wasn't a lot of women who are making suit accessories, especially in Canada. There wasn't a lot of customization options, and that's something that we offer as well. So we can fully customize a necktie, a bow tie, a pocket square, lapel pins, boutonnieres. We even have fabricated cufflinks. So we can do those. We can even customize the head wraps and the scrunchies. So we're actually bringing those in for limited edition collections with partners. So I found that it was the customization portion of it that we really liked, and we found that people really admired and liked the fact that someone in their backyard was making their tie. And so because of that, it kind of flourished from there. But I would say I started off with garments and just kind of accepted the accessories because like I feel like you can do a lot more with the accessories because they're so small. You can experiment so much with them.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, so we started doing those instead.
Oh, it's interesting. I mean, in a lot of businesses, kind of you have one idea in mind, and then you realize what the market wants, and you have kind of you find a niche, and you just go
Yep.
really deep with that, right? So that's great, and it's good that you recognize that right away, versus being stubborn and just doing what you initially wanted to
Oh,
do.
I was stubborn for a while.
Okay.
And then I got like a rude awakening for like my husband is basically the co-owner and he helps me a lot with the designing. And it was like a rude awakening during COVID for sure, because it was like every other small business, like you are down in the dumps, you're like, you know what, this isn't working, like we need to figure something out. And then I had to figure out how to pivot our business faster than I was ever expecting to do. And to be honest, Crown and Collar is actually the third iteration of the business. So
Okay.
we've evolved from Nav Collection. Before that, we had other businesses and I did other things and learned from those, evolved into Nav, and then evolved from that came Crown and Collar. And then we went from suit accessories to accessories for every day.
Mm, okay.
Mhm.
Yes, this is the
Yeah.
natural evolution. And you
Yep.
kind of just you got to go with it sometimes, right? Don't fight it. Just understand, hey, this is where the market is. This is where your strengths really are, and
Yep.
just go deep as you can with that. And that's great.
Yeah.
So it's you and your husband together. Is there any other staff, or it's just the two of you?
It's mainly just the two of us. We do have someone who helps us with our social media every once in a while. We do have contractors who help us with our sewing when we get really busy in the winter time. So we used to do holiday markets. So we would contract out our sewing because I couldn't do everything myself. So we have other people who help us with different aspects of the business on a contract level. But it's mainly my husband and myself.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
great. So in terms of your husband, what is his main role then?
So he's the one who like brings me down when I'm like up in the clouds and I'm like, we need to get 50 yards of this beautiful fabric. And he'll be like, what can you make out of these 50 yards? What would you really need to make out of all? And then like he kind of like brings me back to like more business development. So I find that like he's very focused on the business development, the finances, partnerships. He also helps me with the designing. So if we're looking into getting specific fabrics from certain manufacturers or designing the fabric from scratch, then he also participates in that because he's part of our market when we're doing food accessories. And if he's someone who would be interested in this, then there's guaranteed other people would be interested in it as well.
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, got to get that male perspective, right?
for sure.
Okay. So you're the artistic one, and he is more the rational thinker.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's definitely the rational thinker.
Okay. And you need both, to be
Yeah,
honest, because
definitely do.
it's a craft and it's an art, but then the business side is more of a science. if you say so. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's really hard to do everything yourself, especially if you're someone like me who wants to buy all the pretty fabric and then make all the things. Like, you need someone like my husband where he's like, okay, realistically, what would you need and why would you need it and how much do you actually need?
Yeah, no, for sure. No, that's good. No, it keeps everything in check and keeps everything moving forward, right?
For
No, it's
sure.
great. Now, in terms of the business side of, or your overall business, what's your guys' goal now moving forward? Do you want this to be a full-time thing or just keep it as a side hustle?
Um, I'm totally open with making it full time. Like, that is one of the options out there. Um, but realistically, I would like to keep it at a point where we can hire people full time. So even if that means that I'm keeping this as a side business and working full time, if I can hire a team and we can hash out all of the designs and all of the sewing and everything with people within Canada, that's my main dream. So I feel like building the team, however that ends up being, is what I'm really focused on. I'm hoping to have in the future.
Yeah.
Um, because I find that I really like being in advertising and I like being in that realm of marketing and advertising. So I don't know how much I would want to like leave that right now.
Okay.
But yeah, the building the team for sure, no matter if full-time, part-time, I want a big team.
Okay. No, that's awesome. You gotta think big to do big things.
Yep, for sure.
About how many hours a week are you dedicating now to Crown and Collar?
Like all of them. As soon as like I have two laptops. I have one for work and I have one for crowd and like personal stuff. And as soon as 5 o'clock hits, I shut down my work laptop and I open up my personal one and just doing like all the things for Crown and Collar. So I would say like all of my time.
Okay.
Even like when I don't know if this happens to you from like one creative to another, but I don't know if this happens to you, but in the middle of the night, I just think of an idea and just have to like grab a notepad and pen or like my phone and just jot it down because I can't stop thinking about the business.
Yeah, that's the gift and the curse of an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You can never really turn off, right? With a job, you can definitely just clock in and clock out. But when it's your own baby, it's you just never stop thinking about it. There's always something you can do or tweak or refine or something you want to try. It's just that's just the game. And only an entrepreneur would understand that.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's great. I mean, I'm glad. I mean, it means you're also doing something you love and you care about because it's always on your mind and you want to continue to improve it, right? So that
Yeah,
says a lot as well.
yeah, exactly.
Now you work full time, so it's a marketing advertising agency that you work for.
So I work for a marketing automation consultancy company
Right?
and I'm their marketing manager. And so essentially what they do is if it's like a whole thing where like if you want to send out webinars or get like email list going and send out emails, we're the company that executes those plans for you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, how has this expertise or skill set helped you with Crown and Collar, or has it?
It definitely has. Running a business um, and understanding marketing are both in cohesion. And I feel like you can make the most beautiful, amazing product. It could be the best thing in the world, but if no one knows about it, it's not going anywhere. And having like I have about 9 years of advertising experience, having that experience in my back pocket helps me understand, okay, I need to do this marketing for this timeline. I need to put this kind of copy for this kind of visual. I need to do this kind of email campaign, this kind of digital campaign, anything search related, I already know. So there, because of the background that I have and the different spaces in advertising that I've worked in, I have a good, well-rounded, it's like an interview. I have a good, well-rounded concept of everything in advertising. I feel like being a business owner, sometimes there's a disconnect between owning the business and expanding the business and marketing, where people think, I need to build up my business to do my marketing. what actually needs to happen is you need to build up your marketing so you can build up your business. And that was the biggest thing that I found is the difference between someone like me who has the marketing background or who has at least search marketing, um, compared to someone who might not. And I always help those people too. If I see a fellow entrepreneur who I know is like, they're asking me questions, they're struggling a little bit, or they need some help, I come in and I help them, no problem, right? Entrepreneurs need to help each other out.
Oh, absolutely. You're right. I mean, we're all fighting the same fight, and there's plenty to go around. So there's no need to have a scarcity mindset and think, well, if I have a competitor, he's just going to take business away from me. It's like we can all win together, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Everyone has their own little spark, you know, and everyone, although one scrunchy company would target the same people that I target, my scrunchies are different. Their scrunchies, our business, our mindset, our target market, they're all different. So we can all be in good harmony together, like business and marketing, no problem.
Well, that's great. And yeah, you're one of few small business owners that has that mentality. A lot of them feel like the competition is holding them back, but instead of you have an outlook where it's like, hey, there's enough for everyone. We can all be successful because we're all unique and bringing something slightly different to the table, a different message, a different feel, different style. So it's going to resonate with different people, right?
Yep, exactly. 100%.
No, that's great. So, in terms of your marketing and advertising expertise, what are some of tactics that you've used that you found to be really successful with Crown and Collar?
Well, that's a good question.
Mm.
So I find that planning the campaign, whether it be a specific campaign for a specific product or a service that you're promoting, planning a full force campaign will help you in the long run. So, for example, if I'm selling new scrunchies, so these are coming out in the next few weeks. So, I have a plan of what I'm going to do on social media and on what social platforms I'm going to do these certain things. So, I know I'm going to do videos, I know I'm going to do photos, I know I'm going to do conversations with people. So then I determine where I want to do them. Okay, maybe on Instagram I do this, TikTok I do this, maybe Facebook I do this. And then I plan out my search campaign as well. Always need a complimentary search campaign. So you do that search campaign and then you put that out at the same time that you're doing all of this social execution. And then you have your newsletters. People forget about the newsletters. They're very helpful. I've made quite a bit from just sending out a newsletter and letting people know you get first dibs on this one thing that's going to be available in an hour, but you get it now.
You're referring
And
to email
you,
marketing? Is that what you're referring to?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, email marketing. And so sending out those emails and having that subscription base is very important because that's where you have your loyal customers coming back and back and back. And I find that having all three of those pieces happening at the same time with the same messaging and the same execution process, then you're catching your customer everywhere they go. Now it's at the point where people need to see your brand at least 7 times and your message at least 7 times in order for them to actually resonate and hold it into their brain because there's so much content and information out there that you need to see it multiple times for people to actually remember you. So if you can have the message laid out 7 times within a short time frame, like a month, in different platforms, then you should have no problem with getting your customers to buy your product, getting at least more subscribers, getting more future potential customers. And that's what I find helps the most.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, a
That's like
lot
a long
of business. No, that's great. A lot of business owners, that's one of their biggest weaknesses is the marketing and advertising aspect and the social media and learning how to manage it all and use it effectively. Do
yeah.
you find it's hard to stay on top of social media and use it effectively with all the new platforms always coming out, algorithms changing, or are you pretty comfortable with all of it?
I am pretty comfortable with all of it, but it is a lot to take on, especially when I'm sure there's so many small businesses out there that are following you and looking at this video and will see that they're also working full time or they also have 2 other jobs that they're doing in addition to this. And even if you're running the business full time, you're running the business, you have so many other things going on that I find that sometimes social media gets neglected a little bit. But yeah, I think what helps to understand what you can do on each platform is to have a chart. And I have this in like a Google sheet, and it just has what platform I'm using and what platform is coming out, what platform has new features, and then what I can do on each platform. The messaging that I have on TikTok that I'm planning for TikTok is different than the messaging that I have planned for Instagram.
Mm.
And
Okay,
so
sorry.
making sure, yeah.
Why is it different, and how do you know contextually what to put on TikTok versus what to put on Instagram? Just a quick question. Sorry.
No, no, no. So on Instagram, there's a lot of more of like a connection towards your brand, and more of like, these are the products that I sell. You can come and shop here. There's a shop button. You can shop straight from Instagram. You can shop straight from Facebook, and you're building a community in that way. Whereas TikTok is more of learning and education and behind the scenes, where people want to know what kind of tips and suggestions can you give for other business owners? What kind of learnings can you provide your customers? Not just about how to style something, but why should they style it that way? Or why should they use a certain fabric for their head wrap versus another one? Or where can you get sales in Canada for toques or something like that? They're trying to learn and educate themselves with different information from different businesses and industries. And I find the way that you can learn about the two is um, this is how I learned about it. I literally just was on Instagram for an hour and then went on TikTok for an hour and wrote down what I was seeing as a business owner from how I interacted previously in 5 minutes. So if I went onto Instagram and started interacting with some people on the explore page, left the app, went back in and searched for about an hour to see what I was seeing on my explore page and what I was seeing in my newsfeed, that's how I figured out what kind of content would help me and what kind of content people are looking for on that app.
Very interesting. No,
Yeah.
that's good. No, all great pro tips there for sure. No, that's great. Um, and have you found is social media your main marketing strategy to grow and promote Crown and Collar?
It is one of them. Search is also a big one. Search I find,
Like
especially
Google
when
Ads?
people, pardon?
Like Google Ads you're referring
Yeah,
to?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So when you have your Google ads out there, if someone is searching for handmade scrunchies in Canada, even if they're not deliberately looking for a gift, or they're not actually looking for scrunchies in Canada, but just handmade scrunchies or something, anything along those lines, when you put together your keyword searches, that's how you build out your search campaign. If you do that correctly and you do that based on what you've seen previously in your on your website, or what you've seen people search when you're doing your own market research, then you can build a really solid search plan. And when you do that, that will be complementary to what people are seeing on your social. Because of the way that um, Instagram is and TikTok, you like, everyone can try and like beat the algorithm all they want. But at the end of the day, they're all search systems, they're all search apps. And at some way, shape, or form, someone is going onto the app and searching something. When they leave the app, that information is cached in there. So if they go onto Google and start searching something, more often than not, they'll find the same brand and the same brand messaging, because that company did ads across their social platforms and their search.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
what if you don't have a huge budget to do all of that all at once? What would you recommend then?
So I'd recommend, there are a few ways around it. So Google does this thing where if you spend like $150, they give you $100 back. So they have, if you even just sign up as a Google AdWords account, they will give you $150 credit if you spend $300, for example. So you're actually spending $150 plus tax for a $300 worth of ads. So you can do like small things like that. I would say if you had a really small budget, maybe like $100 for a month kind of thing, small budget, then I would say focus on your primary source of clientele. So if you're seeing on your website, say you have a website, you're seeing on your website that a lot of people are coming from Facebook, put $100 towards your Facebook ads and just do an awareness campaign, get your word out there. More often than not, these small businesses are small like mine where not a lot of people know about them. So the first thing you want to do is focus on brand awareness, and then you go into conversions. And conversions is when like someone clicks on the ad and then buys something. So having an awareness campaign is more helpful to you in the beginning than it is to start off with a conversion campaign right off the bat, which is where I find that's also a little bit of a disconnect with other small businesses. They see that, okay, I want someone to buy off of the ad, but they don't know who you are yet. So first you need to build up who you are to these people, and then they'll think about purchasing from you after.
So you basically have to retarget them.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yep.
very, very interesting. Great stuff. That's awesome. What are your what kind of touched on it a little bit, but what are your long-term plans, 3 to 5 years from now for Crown and Collar?
You know what? There we have so much stuff. We always like to bring in new products. So I was talking about the scrunchies, like they're new, they're coming, they're revamped from our old ones. But we have other products like, okay, you're the first to know. I mean, this is gonna go out, but you're the first to know, is that we're bringing out like sweatshirts.
Oh,
And these sweatshirts are not gonna be like your other sweatshirts, they're gonna be different. And I don't mean like different, like a different saying on there, they're gonna be very different. So we have that coming up. We also have some partnerships that we have with people like capsule collections. Um, what I'm hoping to come out with Crown and Collar in the next few years is essentially to build a more cohesive brand. Right now we have our M shop and we have our W shop. The M shop is mainly there for suit accessories and the W shop is mainly there for more feminine based products. So something that has like more florals or like colors in them compared to the what we have on the M shop. But we'll be closing down the M shop very soon and strictly focusing on our W shop and expanding products that will help to protect your hair for the long term throughout the year. So
okay.
yeah. Yep. You're
So,
the first person I've told outside of like my husband and myself.
so as a man, I should be disappointed. There'll be no more male products.
I mean, there'll be other options. Like, obviously, if people know that we've made ties, like I can still make a tie for that person. Like, we'll still have our custom order option, and you can still select a tie and a pocket square and a bow tie options, but it won't be ready made suit accessories anymore.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Well, you know what? It's good news and bad news. You guys are
Yes.
on to bigger and better things and refining and narrowing your focus. So
Yes,
it's good in the long run. You'll be better off. Yeah.
for sure.
No, that's great. So, what have you found to be the biggest hindrance or struggle with Crown and Collar thus far?
That's a good question. I would say me being too worried about what would happen if I tried. I think I don't know about other small businesses out there or just people in general, but I have a tendency to hold on to like an email for weeks on end, thinking like if I send this email and I want to do like 100 orders for this person, that's my goal. But I'm too scared to send it out because why would they want to buy from me? And because I hold on to that and I'm too nervous to send that email out, nothing gets done. And once I started sending out those emails under the Crown and Collar name, I found that I got more responses because I was more confident in my brand. I was more confident in who I was and what I was doing because, like I mentioned earlier, our target market is shifting and our focus is shifting. And I find that me as an individual just needs to stop being in my own way and just try it out because I sent out an email to someone and I was like, hey, we have scrunchies. I know you sell scrunchies, but our scrunchies are different. Do you want to buy some scrunchies? This person was like, nope, I don't want any scrunchies. But I like that you do custom orders. Let's do a custom order together. And that's where the Sadline toques showed up. So if I didn't send that email out and I was too scared and I was too in my way, that would have hindered our company significantly because those toques saved us in the winter.
Mm. It's very interesting because you seem very knowledgeable, very experienced, um, obviously good at what you do. You make a great product. Why do you think you have that hiccup, like with the mindset? Why do you think you're paralyzed, even though you have a great product? What's stopping you?
You know what it is? I think I'm like too scared of becoming too big.
Mm,
And it doesn't even make any sense because it's like if I want a team, then I need to go big, you know? If I want to expand, I need to go big. So everything that I would want to do is as a result of being big. But I'm so worried about what if we get bigger and then our company just doesn't do well? What if, we can't sustain people sewing in Canada? What if we have to go outside of Canada? Then we're not Canadian made. Then, like, all these things go through my head. And then I start getting nervous. And then I just start thinking, you know what? Maybe it's just not worth it. And then I just sit on it. But then I have my husband who's like you, where he's like, why would you think that you're not worth it? Of course you can do this. You've got this. Send the email and get this done. And then that's the person that like pushes me to do these things and moves us forward. And I find that when I've spoken to like other small businesses, I don't know if you've had this when you're talking to other small businesses, but I find that they also have the same kind of clutch fear where they're like, oh, I want to go big, but I'm too scared to go big because what happens if I go big?
yeah, yeah.
Right?
Eh, it's funny. I'm very fascinated with mindset type of things, and yeah, it's like, I mean, the dream is always you start a business and you want it to just flourish, right? But then when it comes time to actually do the work that makes it flourish, you paralyze, and it's just such a weird thing, right? And
So weird.
I think what I'm discovering is that you're always going to be ready for whatever comes next. Do you know what I mean? Like you're gonna develop the skills and the savvy and the competency as needed. Like right now, you're not a $1 billion company, so it doesn't matter. But as you grow, you develop those skills to take on that next chunk. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
if you don't keep stepping forward, you never grow, right? You might as well just not have started at all. It's kind of a weird conundrum altogether, right? It's fascinating how we screw ourselves though that way because we just stand in our own way, and it's very very interesting. Yeah, and I mean most small business owners don't really want to be small. That's the
Yeah.
irony too, right?
I know.
Yeah. You
It's
have to
too
start
funny.
small, but you don't really want to
Exactly.
stay small, right? You know what I mean? That's the irony of it all. We would love to be big business, you know what I mean? That's the whole thing. So, but we stand in our own way because we just don't know, oh, I'm not ready for it. But it's like when the time comes, you will be ready, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I definitely that now that you say that, I'm thinking back like, okay, how what we were doing a year ago, it was a little bit like this. And then as we grew from Nav collection to Crown and Collar, like that really like propelled us into like a completely different direction. And that's what's been the best part of Crown and Collar is the direction that it naturally flowed into.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you said, when you go to the next step, you are ready for that next step. That's why you're getting to that next step. So which I like this. This is exactly
Hey, it wasn't intentional. It just kind
I
of
know.
happened.
But yeah, I'm definitely gonna remember that for a very long time.
Hey.
Um, I'm just
Wow.
gonna write that on my wall from Isaac.
Wow.
You'll be ready when you're ready. you're going to the next step because you're ready. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna write that on my
And
wall.
honestly, I'm in the same seat too. I mean, this is a whole new venture for us. We're starting from the ground up and we're learning as we go, and we're gonna spread our wings and just fly and adapt new skills along the way. So we're in the exact same boat, right? We're just along for
Yeah,
the ride, and we're just gonna grow accordingly. So
yeah,
and not worry about, oh, what happens if mom and pop has 10,000 businesses? We'll worry about that when the time comes, right?
exactly.
So
So how
that's
did you actually start Mom and Pop? I didn't know the story yet.
okay. Well, sure. That's a great question. So, uh, I'm a former gym owner. I have a background in fitness. So
Mm,
I've been working in the fitness industry for 20 years, and I had a gym of my own for 10 years in Vancouver here. And it started basically. There's a lot of platforms. Kind of, I don't. I'm gonna drop names. Groupon. I've heard of. Have you heard of ClassPass?
no. Oh, yes. Yep.
Yeah, it's like a drop-in system for different gyms. And what I found was with those platforms, um, they leave the small business owner kind of hanging. They don't do a lot for the small business owner. They don't give you quality customers. You end up losing a lot of money on those platforms. It's not really benefiting the small business owner. And I always found that frustrating because they made billions of dollars. And meanwhile, the small business owner is still small and still struggling and maybe even worse off. So thought to myself, I want to create something, a platform that actually benefits the small business owner, where they're actually happy to participate, they're getting good customers, they're getting good exposure, and it's actually helping their business. So that was the idea of Mom and Pop, something for the little guy that actually helped the little guy maybe become a medium guy or whatever, you know what I mean? But it was to their benefit, symbiotic relationship. And it was it's just an idea I had while I was still running my gym because I was just frustrated with those platforms. And then COVID hit, and I was faced with a tough decision, and I decided to close my gym just because I had about 3 years left on my lease, and I thought, is it worth the fight, or am I going to just bleed money trying to stay alive for 3 more years, or maybe I should just move on to something else. So it was the right decision. It was a tough decision, and then the whole mom and pop idea popped back into my head. I kind of put it on the shelf for a while, and I thought this is the perfect time to pursue this because small businesses need more help than ever before, more exposure, and people are more aware that local businesses take the brunt when shit hits the fan, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Life is short. Make it count. Go after what means the most to you. Create your own platform and give small businesses a place where they can actually grow and thrive and be happy to participate. And that's how Mom and Pop was born.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. I like that story.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're the
Good.
first person to actually ask. So,
Really? I figured everyone would just ask you.
no, yeah, no, I guess, I don't know. I guess no one's ever, I guess I'm too busy asking the questions.
Oh
So
yeah,
to
yeah. I
ask.
think yeah, yeah, for sure. No,
Yeah,
this is
so
a
that's kind of how it started. And I mean, and even just this now, these conversations was just not something planned. It was just something that just kind of, we thought, hey, let's interview some business owners and see how they're doing and dealing with COVID. And it just kind of expanded from that. So it just evolved, but it wasn't like a set strategy that we had, so to speak. We just
yeah.
thought, hey, let's just hear how certain businesses are doing, how they're coping, how they've pivoted, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, it just kind of evolved from there. So we're just kind of going with it. And now our app is just about done. We're literally days away, and we're going to be basically just reaching out to businesses like yours and trying to get you guys on board and
Oh yeah, this is so
promote the hell
awesome.
out of you.
Oh, I was about to ask, when do you know when the app is going to be ready? Okay, yes, I am totally ready. I'm like waiting for it to be available, so
Right.
I'm very excited.
No, thank you. Thank you. That's just the development process is a long one. It's just technology. It's out of my hands. So I let the developers do their thing and we're finally there. So yeah, within the next few days, we should be able to hit the ground running and really make mom and pop a real thing. Yeah. So I mean, our goal essentially is to like a business like yours, fantastic. There's lots of people who know who you are, but there's lots of people who don't.
Yeah.
There's lots of hidden gems out there that make amazing products and services, and we want mom and pop to be the place that people think of to find the best small businesses. That's
Awesome.
essentially what the game is.
This is
Yeah.
exciting. I'm very excited for you guys.
Thank you. But enough about me.
Okay.
what what are some tips that you would offer people who want to maybe start a small business or start a business or are currently in a business and maybe are stuck?
Um, I would say whatever you're thinking, just do it. Don't worry about the quality of the product yet. Don't worry about the quality of the service right now, because if you're thinking of running a business, you obviously know you're going to have good quality. So just start doing the thing that you're thinking of doing, and then evolve your product from there, evolve your service from there. I started doing the scrunchies, and I don't have any of the old ones now, but the old ones were very different than these ones. And then I started putting them out there, and people started asking questions like, hey, can you make it look like this? Do you have this kind of design? Do you have this kind of look? And then I started working with one of our future partners. She's been one of our content creators that we've been working with. And I asked her, what are you looking for in a scrunchie? Started evolving, and then we started making these. And these are the ones that people are waiting for now. And I find that if I didn't just start doing it, if I waited for that perfect service, the perfect product, then I wouldn't have evolved, and I wouldn't have known what people wanted, what they wanted from it, why they wanted certain things. And I find that whether you're already a business owner and you're just trying to figure out what you want to do and how to pivot, or you're kind of stuck, or if you're someone who just wants to start something but not know where to start, just start doing something. Start telling people about your business. Put your business on Instagram, put your business on TikTok, put your Facebook, wherever you are, Clubhouse. I don't know how you do that, but you could try and do that. But
Yeah.
um, put your business somewhere online, and you don't have to get a website. Just start telling people, get your product, get your service, take photos, get stock images, start telling people about it, because that's where you'll start evolving your service and your product once people start knowing about it.
No, that's a fantastic answer, and it's a very common one. A lot of people just won't take action. They won't take that first step. They're waiting for perfection, and it doesn't exist, right? It's just a matter
Yeah.
of get your feet wet, learn, adjust, keep moving forward. So
Yeah.
I think that's a tremendous tip, and this can't be said enough, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of people out there that are have a great idea, but they just won't pull the trigger because they think, it's a pandemic, I'll wait, or it's this, or it's that, and there is no perfect time. That's
There was
the key take home there. No, that's awesome.
Yeah, there's a story that I have for you.
Okay.
So there's this company that we worked with. They're one of our partners when we strictly did suit accessories. And this person, he had his suits, and they're beautiful suits. They're amazing suits. It took him 3 years to develop the perfect suit, the perfect design, the perfect pattern, all that kind of stuff, researching manufacturers, everything. Um, and then a year later, the pandemic happened after he launched his business. So, to your point, there's no perfect time to do it, because there could be a pandemic tomorrow. Obviously,
Mhm.
we're in it right now, but
Yeah,
there
yeah.
could be another wave coming. There could be another variant coming. There could be another lockdown. It doesn't matter. There could be anything. And people are just waiting it out. And this is your time to just do it, because if you were like that particular business owner who is doing well but had to shut down their business for a year after waiting 3 years to launch the business, it kind of sucks.
Oh yeah.
So like just do it.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Because yeah, you just don't know, right? You think everything is all aligned, and the next thing you know, the rug gets pulled out from under you.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, absolutely. No, it's great. Any finishing thoughts for our viewers out there? Anything you want to add?
Um, no, just keep doing what you're doing. I guess I did have something, but yeah, I would say just keep doing what you're doing. Like, keep researching, keep talking to people, connecting with people. You never know when an idea is gonna spark when you're just talking to someone like Isaac over here and thinking about something. And you never know when an idea can just show up, and you're thinking, you know what? This could be a business. Anything you can think of can be a business. Just got to think about what it is you want to do.
Oh, that's very wise. I do have one more question, actually.
Yeah.
You use a lot of unique materials. Where do you get most of your material from?
So some of our material comes from the UK.
Okay.
Some of our material comes from the US when we do custom orders. And then a lot of our product comes from, originally I was from the GTA, like I was in Toronto. So we would go to the fashion district in Toronto. But now we're in Ottawa. So it's kind of like fabric land for some of them, depending on like what we're looking for. So like this fabric, for example, like this rose collection of items that we did, that was a last minute collection that we did. So we just went to Fabricland. But fabrics like these come from one of our suppliers in the UK. And then we have custom orders that get printed in Canada and the US.
Very nice. Very nice. No, that's awesome. And where can everyone find Crown and Collar?
Oh, okay. So you can go to our website, crownandcollar.com. You can also follow us at Crown and Collar on Instagram. We're also on TikTok. We're also on Facebook. Everything just says Crown and Collar. We're also on Pinterest. We have some exciting stuff coming up. So be sure to connect with us in any way that you want to make sure that you know what's coming up.
No, that's awesome, Nav. And I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. And we're going to continue to follow your journey. We wish you all the best and all the success moving forward.
Thank you so much, Isaac. I really appreciate you doing this, not just for with me, but like with other small businesses. I find that a platform like yours nicely empowers small business owners like me. And honestly, some people just don't want to talk to the small business owner because they're too small. But there's people like you who small is the people that you want to talk to, and the local is the people that you want to talk to. And having people like you have this platform for people like us, I really, really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. That's awesome. Those are very kind words. Well, we'll
Of
definitely be
course.
in touch very, very soon as the Mom and Pop app will be readily available. So we'll definitely be in contact.
Awesome.
Okay. Thanks again, Nav, for your time and take care.
Have a good one, Isaac.
Take care.
Bye.